Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk in the house. Welcome to a Monday edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live. Man, we got lots to recap today. I want to go over the 2021 NFL Draft that just recently took place. Aaron Rodgers, he wants to get out of town. Will Green Bay let him? I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. Also, which quarterback taken in this NFL recent draft will have the most success here coming forward. And finally, LeBron James is back in action. He just played their last two games with the Lakers, and they lost their last two. He won't play tonight, but I have some questions for the Lakers and Laker Nation. Let me know what you guys are thinking. So without further ado, sit back and relax and enjoy this show. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. What's up, everyone? Welcome back and happy Monday to you guys, man. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope your weekend was tremendous. Mine was, as usual, man. Got time to just chill out, watch the NFL draft, catch up on everything, man. But right now, I am streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So make sure you hop on any one of those live streaming platforms at any point, man. And make sure you guys holler at me. Make sure if you're watching, drop a comment, man. And also like, share, and follow, man. And also, one last thing I keep saying also, if you haven't already, please go over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. I am about 6 subscribers away from 100, which is a milestone for me. I'm trying to make that push home. If you haven't done so, please be so kind. Help your boy out, man. And go over and subscribe to me on the YouTube channel as well. Got lots of content up there as well. So, but like I said at the top of the show, man, we got the NFL draft to recap. We got Aaron Rodgers saga going on. We got which quarterback is going to have the most success coming up. And LeBron James is back. So without further ado, man, let's get straight into the show. So for those of you who don't know, the 2021 NFL draft just recently took place last week, Thursday, all the way through Saturday. Now, it was a pretty good time. And for those who caught my live show, man, I was tired. I mean, I streamed 4.5 hours straight. No bathroom breaks, no water breaks, nothing, because I'm a thug like that and I get stuff done like that. But I had some great guests that came on and helped me out, pushed me through. But other than that, it was a great time. I thought the draft was good. It was nice to see the fans back in the stands per se, on the stage, everything like that. It was pretty unique. We all knew who was going number one, and for the most part, we knew who was going to go number two. Number three kind of came as a shocker to a lot of us, especially myself, as I was watching the draft. The San Francisco 49ers selected Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, which kind of shocked a lot of people for the most part, because up until that point, the Niners had pretty much sold it to everyone that Mac Jones was the guy, or at least that's what we thought. So after everything was said and done, Kyle Shanahan had their press conference with John Lynch, and he was like basically saying, "What's up, Brody? Yeah, we like Mac Jones, but we actually kind of love Trey Lance too." And this narrative just kind of caught wind with the media, and the media took it and just said, "Oh my God, they're gonna pick Mac Jones. They're gonna pick Mac Jones." So, I mean, honestly, a lot of us felt that was going to be the pick. So when it went with Trey Lance, it was like, wow, like what the hell just happened, right? So they ended up taking him, which I thought is a great fit for what Kyle Shanahan wants to do in his offense. Now he has an extremely athletic quarterback to bootleg and do all that other stuff, and I'll touch base on that here in just a minute on what I see in the future for Trey Lance. The Chicago Bears moved up and got their quarterback. Now, I talked about this on my video that I posted on Sunday, I believe, about winners and losers. I thought the Bears were definitely winners. They got a quarterback, the quarterback of the future, because why? They feel like they missed out on Deshaun Watson back in 2000, I believe, 16 or 17 when they drafted Mitchell Trubisky. Mitch ain't there no more. So now they have Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, and Nick Foles there. But we all know Andy Dalton probably will get the start, and Justin Fields will be the starter at some point and sometime in this upcoming season. Allen Robinson finally has a quarterback to play with, and that's going to help them out. The Cleveland Browns did themselves a favor. They added some really key defensive players and some offensive line help, which, they really didn't need a lot of it, but they got some guys that they help shore up their team. Look, the Cleveland Browns, man, there's a good chance they might win that division, the AFC North. They're looking strong. I like, it's all going to boil down to Baker Mayfield and OBJ, because OBJ should be fully healed, and be ready to go. So what's going to happen? Are they going to stray away from what made them successful last season? By running the football, playing solid defense, play action, things of that nature, or will Baker Mayfield start to press and force the issue in regards to getting the ball to OBJ? So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen there, that dynamic. Another team I thought that did really well, the New England Patriots. I thought, obviously, they got a quarterback of the future in Mac Jones, who I think will probably fit that system better than anywhere else that he could possibly go. They got offensive help as far as the O-line, and defensively, they got stronger in the defense. They got Ronnie Perkins. They got Christian Barishaw from the, what school he went to, University of Alabama, a big, solid defensive tackle. What's up, Complicated? How you doing, man? Gwen, how you doing? So there was a lot going on with the Patriots. I thought the Patriots did a tremendous job, and they're going to be getting a lot of key returners that did not participate in the COVID season. So I'm not going to say they're going to go out and win the division, but Cam Newton will have a full year under the system. And for all intensive lack of intensive purposes, Cam started the season pretty well. Then he got COVID, missed some time, and they never got back in sync. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go out and just win the AFC, but they should be better than I think most people are giving them credit. And not to mention the spending that they did in the offseason in free agency, adding 2 nice tight ends, getting some other guys that may fit what they need to do. They still don't have a number 1 receiver. They did not address that in the draft or via free agency, but I do like what they did. Another team I thought that did a really good job overall, the New York Football Jets. Now, with the exception of drafting Zach Wilson at number 2, they went and got Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive guard, one of the best guards, one of my highest rated guards in the draft out of USC, to help block for him. And they also picked up a wide receiver, Elijah Moore, out of Ole Miss, who I think will do an excellent job there. So, overall, I thought they did a good job. Not crazy. I still don't like the Zach Wilson pick. I think they probably could have kept Sam Darnold, maybe go out and get a Kyle Pitts or a Jamar Chase, something like that, to go with a veteran quarterback. So, but hey, they decided to move off Sam Darnold because why? Why would they keep Sam Darnold? They didn't draft him. This is a whole new regime. Robert Saleh is the new head coach there. So they said, you know what? If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose with a guy that I picked versus a guy that was drafted 3 years ago. So, I also thought the Dallas Cowboys did a pretty good job. They did not go out and just get like random players. I thought the Micah Parsons kind of fell to them a little bit. Now, I think that they wanted to get a corner. They wanted to address the cornerback position, but Denver kind of took Patrick Surtain, and then I believe the Carolina Panthers took J.C. Horn, the other top-rated corner. And so the Cowboys moved back. They were picking at 10. They traded with the Eagles. Eagles moved up, got Devontae Smith. They moved back to number 12 spot, and they got Micah Parsons, who I thought is a really good fit considering the linebacking problems that the Cowboys are facing going into the season with Leighton Vander Esch not always healthy. And we saw today that they did not pick up his 5th-year option. So this is a prove it or move it season for Leighton Vander Esch. Jalen Smith, too, is also on notice. His play definitely has decreased a little bit. Now, he does have a lot of tackles, but I think, who knows, maybe in the system that he played last year with Mike Nolan, he needs to step up his play a little bit just to kind of get himself going. I also like the steal that they got in the 4th round with the Jabril Cox, safety / linebacker out of LSU. You can't go wrong with that. So I thought overall they addressed their needs. They loaded up on some corners, some 2nd, 3rd tier guys, but I think they fit the Dan Quinn mold as far as their size, the frame, some really big guys. So we don't know anything until these games are played. So those are some of the teams that I thought, and there might be some other teams that I maybe be forgetting at the top of my head right now, but those are some of the teams that I thought actually did a really good job, addressing certain needs that they have. Now, some losers. Now, the Green Bay Packers, and I'm talking about them here in the next segment, but dude, I know, the guy that they wanted was taken, so they ended up taking a corner out of Georgia, but still, right before the draft starts, Aaron Rodgers is like, I don't want to play there anymore. And what do you guys do? You don't get him any more help. So, I thought they're losers. The Houston Texans, they were losers before this draft started because why? Their former head coach and GM, Bill O'Brien, just basically forfeited all of their draft picks. So they didn't start picking until the 3rd round. They drafted a quarterback, Davis Mills, out of Stanford, who might actually see playing time because we don't know the status of Deshaun Watson. what's going on with him. Will the NFL step in, suspend him a few games, or flat out, he just doesn't want to play for them anymore. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with them there. So we got to be on the lookout for that. Another team I thought didn't do that well, the Las Vegas Raiders. John Gruden, since he's been there, has not drafted really well. They went and reached on a guard, I believe, or a tackle, Alex Leatherwood, early when he probably was projected as a third, fourth round player. They get him first round. Their offensive line was not part of the real big problem or issue in Las Vegas. Their defense was. Now, they did go out and get a safety in Trayvon Moorhig out of TCU, but I think overall the Las Vegas Raiders did not do a good job as usual. They have not hit on any of the defensive players. Now, people might say, oh, well, Jonathan Abrams, like, I don't think he's that good. I think he's just he's a hitter. He's a guy that likes to run up in the box, can't really cover, and can't stay healthy. Some of the other guys, the defensive line, Cleveland Farrell, the guy that they drafted out of Clemson a few years ago, really hasn't really shown. The one guy I can say they maybe hit on was Max Crosby, a DN out of Eastern Michigan, who was kind of like a thought of. So he kind of stepped up a little bit. But overall, the Raiders did not get better. And another team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they did not address their offensive line issues. They did get a running back in Najee Harris, but what good is he if you don't have a line? And Big Ben is not the most mobile dude anymore. And we saw last year, they struggled on third and short. They could not get 1 yard to save their life. So now, they're going into the season again with the same scenario. So not sure what they're thinking there, but probably some other teams I thought didn't do a great job. But off the top of my head, those are teams that I feel like, were losers. I mean, they really didn't address anything or make any real moves to kind of solidify themselves to get better going into next season. So speaking of losers, Aaron Rodgers, right before the draft, about hours before the draft, reports started coming out of his camp that he's done. He's done. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay anymore. This is about a year in coming. Now, last year, the Green Bay Packers drafted Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. And here's the thing. Jordan Love was not even the backup. I believe he was third or fourth string on their depth chart. And it's one thing if the Packers spent like a fifth round on the guy. You're talking about a top draft pick. If I'm not mistaken, he went number one, or not number one overall, but he was a first rounder, and the guy couldn't even back up Aaron Rodgers. And then on top of that, he's looking across the field at Tampa Bay and how, Tom Brady made the switch. They pretty much tried to give him everything to help him win. It worked out for Tom. They ended up winning a Super Bowl. They beat Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game. All these things, and there are reports too that him and the GM, Matt or Mark Rudiger, I think his name was, they don't like each other, or at least Aaron doesn't like him. So he wants him gone if he wants to stay. And like I said, Green Bay has not done a good job with trying to keep their quarterback happy. And not only is it your quarterback, it's Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP. You go and draft a quarterback the year before, kind of his heir apparent. The guy goes out, has an MVP season, and here we are, he's looking to get out. I'm surprised he lasted longer than he did, considering the movement and all the different quarterbacks that have really good talent and their teams are actually helping them get good talent so that they can actually win games. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think their roster is trashed. I mean, they made the NFC Conference Championship game, right? The top seed in the NFL, in the NFC. And, for all, it is what it is. They end up losing to a better team in Tampa Bay who was hot. But Aaron Rodgers is the heart and soul of that team. If he leaves and decides he doesn't want to play there anymore, the Green Bay Packers are donezo. I don't want to hear it. They have nobody else out there. And I feel bad for the guys that are remaining, like Devontae Adams, who's a number one wide receiver. But look, let's just be real. He can't do it by himself. He just can't. And the fact that the Green Bay Packers have not done a really good job in the past of helping Aaron Rodgers stay, or at least improving to the roster on the offensive side. Now, Aaron Rodgers is getting the best out of all these guys that he's playing with, like the Scantlings. Who else? Just all these other random dudes that are on the team. And they still were the number one seed in the NFC. They still made an NFC Conference Championship game, but they won't get past a team as talented offensively and defensively like Tampa Bay. And there are other teams that are catching up to them who have way better rosters, but Aaron Rodgers is just that damn good that he elevates that team to the next level. Now, he can't get them past that conference championship game, but he needs some help. They're not getting it to him. And if I'm him, honestly, man, if they don't trade him, you just retire. You pull a Carson Palmer, you retire, you get out of there, you get out of Cincinnati, you get out of Green Bay, and you see what happens. And right now, there's some teams that, he would like to be traded to. I believe the Raiders was one of them. Denver, if I'm not mistaken, I think I forgot the other one. But it's time. It's definitely time for him to move on. I know the Green Bay faithful are like, no, we don't want to hear that. But look, unless you get rid of the GM, this guy does not want to play there. He does not want to play there, man. So either you trade him, you get as much value as you can for him, which you can ask for a king's ransom right now if you're the Green Bay Packers, and see what you get. Because either way, he retires, you get nothing. If you trade him, at least you get some type of compensation, at least in via draft picks, players, personnel, whatever, cash considerations. But something needs to be done because Aaron Rodgers, to me, talent-wise, is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen do it. But he just can't get over the hump there in Green Bay, and I think it's time for him to move on. I mean, you saw what Tom Brady did. He spent 20 years in New England, decided it wasn't the thing anymore. He moves on, he goes out and wins the Super Bowl in his first year. So I'm not saying that'll happen with Aaron Rodgers, but he needs to go somewhere where he's supported a little bit more better, or more than what the Green Bay Packers front office have shown. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. That's a developing story that we're going to have to keep our eye on. So, all right. Quarterbacks that were drafted this year. This was one of the most unique draft prospects of quarterbacks this year that I've seen, because legitimately the top 5 could all play like from day one, I think. Now, some of them could probably benefit from sitting out a year watching, but some of them could actually probably sit there and play. So which quarterback drafted at least the top 5 guys, like the Trey Lances, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, those guys right there, guys that are legitimately going to have probably some playing time here in the near future. Which one of those guys is going to have success immediately? First, obviously, Trey Lance sticks out, number one. Why? He's going to a team that's already has a pedigree. The San Francisco 49ers are not that far removed from a Super Bowl appearance. They were riddled with injuries last season. All their guys should be healthy. They have Kyle Shanahan's offense is unique as far as schematic wise. They run the football. And here's the thing about Trey Lance. He did not throw the ball a lot at North Dakota State, which was a knock for some people on him. And another thing, he didn't have enough games under his belt. Okay. Mac Jones did not have that many games under his belt, and people were looking at him as one of the top prospects. In fact, Trey Lance has played more games than Mac Jones did. But the only difference is Trey Lance played for North Dakota State. Mac Jones played for Alabama. So anyway, but given Kyle Shanahan's offense scheme, Trey Lance fits better. He's way more athletic. You can bootleg, you can roll him out the pocket, you can move platforms, and they're going to run the football. And now North Dakota State's offense is similar to what Kyle Shanahan does in San Francisco. I mean, it's not the same, terminology is different, but for the most part, the principles are pretty much the same. They're going to pound the football with that great offensive line that they got led by McGlinchey, and Raheem Mostert will be back there, and some other guys that they got. George Kittle will control the middle of the field. You have some really talented wide receivers in Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. So, and their defense should be good again once the Bosa has got all good. Nick Bosa is all healed up. So, I think that's not I know they picked third, but that wasn't because the team sucks. They had bad luck last year. A lot of guys got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt a lot of the time. So guys like Nick Mullins had to play. So that's why their record was what it was to get them that third spot. So if Trey Lance does somehow beat out Jimmy Garoppolo, look out. That guy's going to have success. And I really, truly believe that. The other guy I think that might have success early is Justin Fields, because I think at some point, Andy Dalton's not going to be the guy there. He is a stopgap. It's a reason why they moved up to get Justin Fields. I think, Allen Robinson is a tremendous wide receiver that nobody really knows about, because why? He played in Jacksonville for some years. He goes to Chicago. He plays for Mitchell Trubisky, really not getting the ball. I think now they're going to get him the ball. Justin Fields can throw the ball down the field. I mean, tremendously. I look at Mac Jones at some point getting in, maybe if Cam does get hurt. And I can see him maybe doing something because Bill Belichick, for sure is going to be, he's going to fit that system. Okay. Tom Brady played in that system for years. Tom Brady isn't the most mobile, athletic guy. We all know that. And neither is Mac Jones because there's not a lot of bootleg. There's not a lot of play action, things of that nature where he has to roll out. I think New England Patriots are going to get back to running the football hardcore. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to run the football. They're going to throw the tight ends and they're going to play smart defense. And so I think Mac Jones does have an opportunity to have some early success in his career. Now, Zach Wilson, the fourth quarterback, I take that back. I'm going to go to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence will have some pretty good success, I think, because he was the most ready-made guy. Urban Meyer is going to have a learning curve as far as the NFL is concerned. But, they're surrounding him with some decent talent. I thought they did a good job, in the draft as well. They they addressed their offensive line, so that should help a young quarterback. They went and got his running back in the backfield there, and Travis Etienne. So there's some familiarity there. But it's still Jacksonville. I don't see him having out the gate a first great year, perhaps, maybe, just because of what's going on there in Jacksonville. New coach, new system, new everything. So we'll have to wait on that. But he was the best quarterback in the draft. And finally, Zach Wilson, I think it's still going to be a tire fire in New York. I don't think he should have went number 2. I thought the Jets missed. They should have went either with Trey Lance or Justin Fields. And just for obvious reasons, I think Zach Wilson will not be able to handle the spotlight in New York. Not to say that, the other guys might be able to, but I just don't see it, man. I think that the Jets needed to keep a veteran quarterback and go out and get offensive talent. They didn't do that. They flipped it. Now they did go get Elijah Moore in the draft, but I don't know if he's a number 1 guy. We don't know. Like, I like what they did on the offensive line, but still, they don't have a running back. They don't really have a true number 1 wide receiver. They don't have a guy. So I don't know who Zach Wilson's going to run to. Robert Saleh is a new head coach in this league. We don't know how good he is. So I don't know. But I think overall, I think Trey Lance will have the most success initially. Now, history has told us that when so many quarterbacks are picked, about 2 or 3 guys are going to hit, man. And all 5 guys may not hit. And there's going to be 2 or 3 guys that we are like, oh, well, he was drafted and that was about it. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there, but I like Trey Lance. I for sure, and my boy Barry Grant Jr. from the All Even podcast, he says, can you imagine Zach Wilson walking in Manhattan? I mean, yeah, he'll just look like everybody else there. So now he can potentially ball out. Who knows? We don't know. There's no science to this. We don't. But just what the eyes tell me or show me, I don't see it. I just don't see it. And I think the Jets just they blew it again, man. They definitely blew it. So speaking of blowing it, so LeBron's back. He's back. He's back in action. Well, not tonight, but I think he appeared back in the lineup, I believe, last week, Thursday or Friday. Hasn't gone well. They've dropped their last 2, and the Lakers are sliding. Now, if they lose tonight and Portland, I believe, wins, the Lakers are in 7th. And what does that mean? Play-in time. The play-in tournament, right, if the season ended today. Now, their last couple games, their last 5 or 7 games are against all playoff teams. I'm not sure. I mean, I know they got to get their rhythm. AD has not looked good. AD has been back for at least 2 weeks, I would say. He has not looked good. Granted, he has not looked good all season, even up until the injury. So I'm a little worried. I'm not ready to hit the panic button altogether because the Lakers still have LeBron. He is one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player in the league right now. Will he be able to turn it on? That remains to be seen. But I have a good chance he'll be able to lock these guys in. But they better get their act together. They got demolished last night by Toronto. LeBron left the game early because he's starting to feel soreness in his ankle, so he's not fully healed up, which is going to be a concern. He's an older player. He hasn't really been hidden by the injury bug throughout his career up until recently. The last 2 out of 3 years, he's been hurt and has missed significant amounts of time. And then, not to mention the short rest that they're coming off of this past offseason, winning the finals, I believe in September or early October or something like that. And then boom, the season starting up again. So a guy like him, he needs his rest. they're on the verge of being a 7th seed, meaning they might have to play and the 8th seed, and then if they win that, then whatever it is. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I think it's gonna be a very, 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 very concerning situation right now because, like my boy here again, Barry Grant, who's tapped in. May I add, he's tapped in right now. He said this should scare Laker fans. AD does not look like a number one. It's time to panic. I've been saying it since February. Absolutely. I'm not panicking quite yet, but because we still have LeBron and LBJ, I trust. But if they're gonna win any championship, AD is gonna have to get going. He has to get going. And if he doesn't get going, then it's done. Hell, they might not even make the playoffs at this point because if they have to play one of these hungry teams, I don't know if they can even beat them because you're talking about these are teams that are hungry to get into the playoffs. So after this week, I can come back maybe next week, Monday, and tell you where I feel as far as the panic meter is concerned. But I have to give LeBron a little bit more time before I can kind of say how he's going to play. Now, if LeBron is sitting out more often, then I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm concerned. And as far as LeBron's concerned, man, like, here's the thing. As a basketball player, he's a great basketball player, one of the greats to play. But I think a lot of people put a lot of stock in what these guys say as far as athletes are concerned. Now, he was just interviewed about the play-in tournament, and he said it was like dumb, or whoever created this theory about having this playoff tournament is stupid. Mind you, last year he was all for it. Why? Because they were like the second or third seed in the West, so it didn't even matter, right? You can't go with these guys because they're wishy-washy, man. And that's why I don't put a lot of stock in what these guys say, because at the end of the day, they're not that educated. They're really not. And I'm not saying you got to have a college degree, but let's be real. They are so out of touch with certain things. He probably forgets all the crap that he says throughout his career. And, is the tournament fun? I'm okay with it. It is what it is. Will it bring in revenue and people watching? Yeah, of course, but I'm not like, oh my God, I got to watch it, must see TV, because at the end of the day, whoever makes it in, they're not going to win the championship anyway. So it's like, who cares? So, but I get it. For some people's perspective, they like it. LeBron doesn't like it right now because why? They're on the verge of being in this tournament, this playoff tournament to get into the playoffs. So yeah, hell yeah, he doesn't like it right now. So, just be careful on who you listen, who you follow. Don't put these guys on a pedestal, because before you know it, man, they say one thing and then they flip just on a drop of a dime. And that's in everything that they do. So, you can't put too much stock in a lot what these athletes say, because honestly, they just say shit just to say stuff. I mean, really. So, but as far as a Laker fan, I'm not there. I'm about one level away from being panicked. I'm going to kind of just remain calm just for one more week, see what happens, and then we can go from there. But definitely, I'm a little worried. I'm definitely concerned. There is a strong urge of concern right now, because I don't think this roster is as good as last year's roster. I think Marc Gasol, that pickup it doesn't seem like that was a good fit. When you give up Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, now the Lakers defense has been, on the, one of the top teams, but it just feels like to me they can't guard the pick and roll, and they don't really have a legitimate shot blocker. And I know AD has missed some time, but I just don't think this roster is as good as it was last year. I like Schroeder, but I don't know, man. He's missed a lot of time too. So we're just gonna have to wait and see, man. But I'm not quite there with my boy Barry, as far as being panicked, but I'm uncomfortable. There is a slight uncomfortableness emerging from my soul at this point. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But they're gonna have to go on a run here. They gotta do well at the end of the season to kind of make me feel a little bit more better. Because here's the thing, man. If they do make it, do we trust Utah? Do we trust Phoenix? I still don't, man. They're still Utah and they're still Phoenix. In a 7-game series, I just don't see the Lakers losing to those teams if they're able to make, As far as the Clippers are concerned, I'm good. Been there, done that. You're not going to fool me. I'm good on them. So, but anyway, that's my time for tonight, man. Just pushing just about 30 minutes, which is perfect for me, man. But hey, catch my next episode. It airs live on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Same time, same place. You know what it is on Instagram. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, man. You guys know where to catch me. Make sure you hit me up on YouTube, man. Subscribe to my channel, man. I just need like 4 more people, man, to get me to 100. So hey, help me out, man. Help me out, bro. Help a brother out, man. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys stay locked in, man. But other than that, that's all I got. So hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. You guys be cool, be safe. So without further ado, until next time, everyone, this is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. You know what it is. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out. Show, she says.